Live past 70? Your peeing habits hold the key to longevity. Did you know that what happens in your bathroom could be silently determining your lifespan after 70? It's a startling connection that most of us completely overlook. The simple act of urination, something we do without a second thought, might actually hold the key to predicting your longevity and quality of life in your golden years. Meet Sarah Chen, an active 75-year-old who seemed to be defying aging itself. Every morning she'd complete her Tai Chi practice in the park, followed by breakfast with her friends at the local cafe. Her energy put people half her age to shame, but recently something changed. I started waking up 3, sometimes 4 times a night to use the bathroom, she confides. At first I dismissed it as just part of getting older. What Sarah didn't realize was that her changing bathroom habits were sending urgent signals about her health signals that demanded attention. The numbers are eye-opening. Over 60% of adults over 65 experience significant changes in urination patterns, yet fewer than 25% ever discuss these changes with their doctors. This silence comes at a devastating cost. Individuals with untreated urinary issues face a 43% higher risk of shortened lifespan after 70. These aren't just inconvenient trips to the bathroom. They're potential warning signs of hidden conditions that could be silently progressing in your body right now. From heart disease to kidney failure, your bladder might be the first to sound the alarm that something isn't right. The good news? Understanding these warning signs and taking action early can add years, quality years, to your life. The difference between struggling through your 70s and thriving well into your 80s might just come down to something as simple as paying attention to when and how you urinate. If you or someone you love is approaching those important later years, this information isn't just helpful, it could be life-saving. How aging transforms your urinary system. Margaret Williams at 73 was once known for her boundless energy on cross-country road trips. I could drive for 4 hours straight without stopping, she often boasted to her grandchildren. But lately, those carefree journeys had become logistical nightmares, requiring careful planning around bathroom locations every 60-90 minutes. My body just doesn't work the way it used to, she confided. What Margaret didn't realize was that her urinary system was undergoing a dramatic transformation, one that happens to virtually everyone as they age, often with consequences far beyond mere inconvenience. As we age, our bladders undergo a startling metamorphosis. The elastic tissue that allows your bladder to expand and contract loses up to 50% of its flexibility by age 70. This isn't just about comfort, it's about capacity. Your bladder's ability to hold urine can decrease by as much as 1/3, explaining why the urgent need to urinate seems to come faster and more frequently. For women, these changes can be particularly devastating. After menopause, the drop in estrogen causes the urethral lining to thin dramatically, making infections up to 60% more common than in younger women. Each infection further weakens bladder control, creating a dangerous downward spiral. Men face their own urinary crisis as the prostate gland inexorably expands with age. By 75, this walnut-sized gland can swell to the size of an apricot, squeezing the urethra like a kinked garden hose. This explains why over 70% of men in their 70s experience a significantly weaker urine stream, often leaving behind up to 30% of urine after each bathroom visit, a perfect breeding ground for infection. The kidneys, too, undergo a silent decline, losing roughly 10% of their filtering capacity each decade after 40. By 80, your kidneys function at barely 60% of their youthful vigor, struggling to clear medications and toxins from your bloodstream. These aren't simply inconvenient facts of aging. They're early warning signals your body is sending about your overall health and longevity. The question is, are you listening? Dangerous urination habits that could be cutting years from your life. Harold Jenkins always prided himself on his ironclad work ethic. As a retired high school principal, he'd spent decades training his bladder to wait until his scheduled breaks. "I'd hold it for hours," he admitted. "There were days I'd only use the bathroom twice in a 10-hour shift." Now at 78, Harold wonders if those years of bladder discipline might be behind his current health crisis. The habitual postponing of nature's call isn't just uncomfortable, it's potentially devastating to your long-term health. When you regularly hold your urine, your bladder can stretch beyond its intended capacity, weakening the muscular walls by up to 40% over time. This creates a cruel paradox. The more you hold it, the less control you ultimately maintain. For those like Harold who made a habit of delaying bathroom breaks, the statistics are alarming. People who regularly postpone urination are up to 3 times more likely to develop chronic urinary retention, where the bladder never fully empties. This stagnant reservoir becomes a perfect breeding ground for bacteria, with the risk of infection rising by 45% with each hour urine remains in the bladder. The habit of straining during urination, pushing hard to start or finish the flow, creates pressure that can actually force urine back toward the kidneys. This reflux increases kidney infection risk by a staggering 70% and can contribute to permanent damage to these vital filtering organs. Perhaps most shocking is the impact of chronic dehydration. Nearly 60% of adults over 65 consume less than half the recommended daily water intake. This creates concentrated acidic urine that irritates the bladder lining and dramatically increases the risk of painful kidney stones. The minerals in concentrated urine crystallize at a rate 300% higher than in properly diluted urine. Nighttime urination patterns tell an equally crucial story. Waking more than twice nightly to urinate corresponds with a 50% higher rate of cardiovascular events within 3 years. What seems like a simple inconvenience might actually be your body's desperate warning signal about your heart. These aren't simply bad habits. They're potential life-shortening behaviors disguised as everyday inconveniences. Life-changing strategies to protect your urinary health. Eleanor Cooper's friends couldn't believe the transformation. At 79, she had resigned herself to a life of constant bathroom anxiety and limited social outings. "I was planning my entire life around bathroom locations," she confesses. But after implementing some strategic changes to her daily routine, Eleanor reclaimed her freedom. "I haven't had a single accident in 8 months, and I sleep through most nights now. It's like getting my life back." The cornerstone of Eleanor's transformation was proper hydration, but with perfect timing. Most people over 70 consume less than half the water their bodies need, creating a perfect storm for urinary complications. The key is drinking 75% of your daily water intake before 6 p.m., approximately 6 to 7 cups for most seniors. This simple adjustment can reduce nighttime bathroom trips by up to 40% while still maintaining optimal hydration. Your diet creates the chemical environment in your urinary tract. Cutting caffeine and alcohol consumption by even 50% can decrease bladder irritation by a remarkable 65%. Meanwhile, incorporating cranberries and blueberries, natural antibacterial agents, can reduce UTI recurrence by nearly 40% in vulnerable seniors. Strategic physical activity offers perhaps the most dramatic benefits. Specific pelvic floor exercises, performed correctly for just 10 minutes daily, can strengthen critical muscles by up to 70% within 2 months. Seniors who implemented these exercises saw a stunning 60% reduction in incontinence episodes and reported a 45% improvement in quality of life. Timing matters tremendously. Responding promptly to nature's call rather than delaying reduces bladder wall stress by approximately 35% and dramatically lowers infection risk. Adults who urinate on a regular schedule rather than waiting until it's urgent show a 55% decrease in UTI frequency. Perhaps most crucial is regular medical monitoring. A simple urinalysis can detect problems months or even years before symptoms become obvious. Yet 70% of seniors go years without this basic screening. Those who receive annual urinary health checks show a 65% higher rate of detecting problems at their most treatable stages. Eleanor's success wasn't luck. It was the result of strategic habits that anyone can implement for potentially life-changing results.